Hello, and thank you for viewing this video about my study of using labyrinths as a mindfulness practice to assist remediation of community college students. My name is Elizabeth Grant, and I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you more about the design of my research proposal. The purpose of my study is to see if regular mindfulness practice can help students who are enrolled in developmental coursework to get through those courses by improving self-regulation, especially the regulation of emotion and attention, and reducing their experience of stress. Researchers have found that mindfulness can reduce stress and improve focus, two factors that are important in learning. A labyrinth is a tool that I have selected as a tangible means to develop a mindfulness practice. For more information about how labyrinths are mindfulness tools, please see the video, What's a Labyrinth? In this video, I want to talk about the design of my study and what is involved if you decide to participate. Informed consent is a very important part of deciding whether or not to participate in any research, and informed consent must be granted by participants before they can be included in this study. The informed consent process for this study is covered in greater detail in a separate video entitled Informed Consent for Labyrinths in College. I am recruiting first-year community college students who are enrolled in at least one pre-college developmental course, are 18 years old or older, and who can devote at least 30 minutes a week to participating in study-related activities. 8 community and technical colleges in Washington have approved my research proposal, and I need about 100 participants altogether in order to have sufficient numbers to be statistically meaningful. I have created a Google site that I will use for data collection and as a resource to provide information for participants. For this reason, participants will need to have Internet access and basic Internet navigation skills. As discussed more fully in the Informed Consent video, participants will be assigned an identification number to use for all data collection in this study. No names or other personally identifying information will be posted online. To test if mindfulness can help students who are enrolled in developmental coursework to get through the coursework, I am using a mixed methods research design, which means that I am collecting and analyzing qualitative and quantitative data. I selected 4 constructs that are associated in the literature with positive learning outcomes: mindfulness, self-regulation, perceived stress, and pass-fail rates. Quantitatively, I am comparing pre-test and post-test assessment scores and pass rates. Qualitatively, I am evaluating the content of online journal posts and post-study focus groups to collect qualitative data. Quantitative data are about what you can count or measure, such as scores or the number of times something happens. Qualitative data are about what things are like and in ways that aren't neatly counted or quantified. Imagine, for example, a study about how heart attack survivors respond to a program that includes regular exercise and diet changes. Blood pressure, heart rate, weight, and the number of minutes spent exercising each week are all examples of quantitative data. Asking participants to explain why they skipped exercising, or to identify what motivates them to exercise, or what foods they missed the most, are examples of qualitative data because the range of responses would be difficult to measure precisely. This is the nature of qualitative data. They describe the depth, extent, character, and quality of things. Trends or patterns may emerge, or one particular pattern may occur with more frequency than others, but concise measures of qualitative data is difficult. Constructs are the categories in a study that the researcher expects to be affected by the intervention. I have identified mindfulness, self-regulation, perceived stress, and pass-fail rates for developmental coursework as constructs for this study. Researchers in education, mental health, and medicine have reported connections between learning, self-regulation, and stress, suggesting that self-regulation promotes learning while stress has a negative effect on learning. Mindfulness has been linked with stress reduction in a variety of studies, and researchers have found positive associations between mindfulness and learning and between mindfulness and self-regulation. Jon Kabat-Zinn pioneered the field of mindfulness-based stress reduction, a popular form of cognitive therapy. He describes mindfulness as an intentional awareness of the here and now that is objective, just noticing what is without attaching significance beyond what is observed or experienced. Mindfulness is associated with the regulation of attention. Self-regulation is associated with college completion and is about being able to keep things on an even keel so that your emotions and behaviors are in line with achieving goals. The degree to which you get along with others, for example, or your reliability to attend class and do the assignments reflects your self-regulation. Cutting class, getting into fights, and binge drinking, on the other hand, are examples of low self-regulation. Perceived stress is how much stress you feel. Most of us have an idea about what stress is, that state of being on edge, irritable, pressed, overextended. High stress, particularly over a long period of time, is associated with a variety of health problems and has been shown to have a negative effect on learning. Measuring constructs and making before and after comparisons is the quantitative part of this study. Pre- and post-test scores on 3 standardized assessments of mindfulness, self-regulation, and perceived stress will be compared to see if 8 weeks of mindfulness practice has an effect on these constructs. The pre- and post-test assessments are taken at the beginning of the study and again at the end. It will take about 30 minutes to take all 3 assessments, which are located on the secure Google site. Participants use an identification number rather than a name on these assessments and on all of the study's online data collection. I am using the Mindful Attention Awareness Scale, a 15-item survey that asks you to rate how often each statement describes your experience. Responses range from almost always to almost never. The Mindful Attention Awareness Scale will take about 5 minutes to complete. I am using the Short Self-Regulation Questionnaire, a 31-item survey that asks you to rate how strongly you agree or disagree with a statement, and the responses range from strongly disagree to strongly agree. The Short Self-Regulation Questionnaire takes about 10 minutes to complete. And I am using the College Student Stress Survey, an 11-item survey that asks how often you experience each statement, ranging from never to very often. The College Student Stress Survey takes about 5 minutes to complete. The fourth construct, pass rate, is calculated by dividing the number of developmental courses passed by the number of developmental courses attempted. I will analyze participant pass rate by comparing the pass rate of participants in this study to the pass rate for developmental courses for all Washington Community and Technical College students in the spring quarter of 2015, as reported to the State Board for Community and Technical Colleges. Participants will post a screen capture of their final quarter grades, minus their name or any identifying information, to the data collection site. Qualitative data for the study will be about the subjective experience of each participant and will be collected through the online journal posts and post-study focus group. Each time a participant uses the Labyrinth, he or she will make an online journal post, rating 10 items and adding optional narrative as desired. I'll show you what the journal looks like on the next slide. Journal entries, like each of the assessments, use only the participant identification number and not the participant's name. A focus group will be held at the end of the study. This is a meeting where participants get together and talk about their experience of the study. It will last about 90 minutes. I will be asking about what using a Labyrinth was like, whether it was helpful, what patterns may have emerged through the weeks of using Labyrinths, and so forth. The focus group will be held on your campus at a time near the end of the quarter. There are risks to confidentiality associated with participating in a focus group. The main one is that the privacy of a focus group depends upon each participant maintaining confidentiality. I will ask each focus group participant to agree to keep what is shared in the group confidential, though ultimately I will have no way to enforce confidentiality. To learn more about confidentiality and other important issues related to participation, please view the Informed Consent video. This is what the journal looks like online. A journal post is made each time a participant uses a labyrinth. The participant enters his or her identification number and then clicks on the radio button corresponding to their response for each item. There is a place at the bottom for any additional remarks a participant may wish to include. I will then analyze journal posts for themes and patterns that may emerge. Thank you for viewing this video and for your interest in my research project. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions or you would like to know more. You can reach me at the email address shown here or by telephone. I welcome your calls. Thank you.